the Labour Party is determined to destroy our family values, moral values, divide our society, and spread hate and division. Listen what Queensland Labour was doing.
Teachers are sounding the alarm after being asked to hide students' gender pronoun requests from their parents.
There are now growing concerns that more and more school staff could be caught in the middle of a very tricky situation. Let's bring in former Queensland Principal Tracy Tully in Brisbane. Trace, thanks again for your time this morning. Now, should teachers be telling parents about everything that happens at school?
Yes, they should, for a few reasons, Sarah. Number one is when a parent enrolls a student at a school, they sign a contract, and so does the student. That contract at no time says that a school can withhold information from that parent, unless, of course, there's a court order. So therefore, what we're seeing happening is that teachers are being told to withhold information to parents about the students, but there's no policies and there are no procedures by the department that dictates that teachers must lie to parents.
Okay, so what is happening then?
Yeah.
And then what's the problem?
The problem is that principals are using the Human Rights Act and the Trans Guide, which is a guide to how they work with students to protect them. Now, we all know that students are vulnerable, and we all understand that this topic is out there. But at the end of the day, this has to be treated really well, and school personnel are not trained. They're not trained medical experts to be doing that sort of information. Schools also don't have enough guidance officers in there to help. So teachers, once again, are being used and abused and forced to do things that are not right for them, and it isn't fair. They're there to educate. They're not trained in this. And whilst there's a Human Rights Act that dictates there's a trans guide in schools, that trans guide clearly says that parents, students must work with the school community together.
I mean, Tracy, obviously we always want to sort of encourage safe spaces for these students, especially if they're working through something like that. But at the end of the day, teachers aren't parents. They're not their parents. So how do they balance that support for their students and then the students' parents?
Well, they're struggling with it. I'm hearing from, I have been hearing from teachers since last year about these subjects, and they're very stressed and they're very anxious about it. And this contributes to why teachers are leaving schools, because they're not protected. So therefore, the position they're in, if they're forced to lie to a parent and a parent finds out, and the minute they step outside the school ground, if they're hurt physically by that parent because they've lied to a student, they're a huge risk, and we don't know what will happen, and nor are there any regulations in place to protect those teachers with that. So teachers are being forced, and they shouldn't be. It should be people in the school who are quite happy to take their own safety and welfare at risk, and teachers aren't and shouldn't be forced.
Okay. This is not new for the Labour Party. The Labour Party in Victoria had introduced legislation that any parent that is talking with his kids about transgender issues, about LGBTQ issues, in a way that contravene the official policy of the government, and was telling their kids that this is not the normal way of the life, that this is against the religion, for example, or against the culture, or we should not, or whatever discussion between a parent and the children. The parent is risking to go to jail for a long time, and his kids taking away from him. This is not a conspiracy theory, because for the last 4 years, whenever we talk about something, they will accuse us of being conspiracy theorists. We said that they want to close the borders for years. They said this is extreme, this is conspiracy theories. It's only 1 or 2 months until we flatten the curve. It went to 2 years and 2 months of total closure of borders. We said that there will be an attack on our freedom in a way of the restrictions that and lockdowns which are not necessary. They said, oh, you are conspiracy theorists. And then we said that they will enforce vaccine on you. Then they said, this is a conspiracy theories. Now we are saying that they will enforce you to abandon, to be silent totally, or to abandon your culture, your religion, or your moral values, because the Labour Party wants you to live according to their own agendas. Agenda where there is no family, there is confusion about everything, even about your sexual life, about your gender, about your religious beliefs, about your cultural beliefs, about your existence altogether. And here I want to mention few things. First, for all these people who told us vote for Jihad Deeb and all these migrants and Muslims politicians, because these people will fight for you, now they need to come and explain why we voted for them. I did not vote, but the community voted for them to defend them, and now we know that Jihad Deeb, Azza Ali, Ed Husic and others, they are serving their masters in the Labour Party and in the deep state, rather than serving you as a community. Because if we believe the father of Jihad Deeb and the father of Ed Husic, the family of Azza Ali or An Ali, we would have believed that they would have stood fiercely against the attack on our family values, attack our religious freedoms, attack our cultural values, our moral values. What had happened? Complete silence. Jihad Deeb is serving his own interest and his own masters in the deep state. Not even the Labour Party, it is the deep state. And soon you will see Jihad Deeb and Ed Husic, An Ali, and all other migrants and other minority religious groups that you expected they will stand up for moral values. They are totally silent, and their agenda, their interests are totally exposed. This is first. Second, what to do? And a lot of people saying, let us wait and see. If we will wait more time, there will be no Australia. There will be no family values. There will be no moral values. Your family will be taken away from you forever. You can't talk to your kids soon. You will not be able to talk to your kids about these issues that normal talk between parents and their kids, and you will be enforced to make a decision, either to leave this country or to become one of them, to either totally silent and let them destroy your kids. This is why we are coming together and asking people to come together. Tomorrow there will be a big community gathering to fight against the attack on our moral values, our family values, our cultural values, our families. The existence of our families are at stake at the moment. If we keep silent and allow the Labour with the Greens, of course we know that the Greens is a fringe party. They had no influence. They will never be in government. It is the Labour Party which is the total force behind the destruction and the attack on our family values, attack on our civil liberties. If we continue be silent, there will be no more Australia, as you know. We need to come together and we become realistic. The people who are living in Bankstown, you need to go and see and send Jihad Deeb and other politicians who promised you, who lied on you that they will stand up for your rights. Where are you? Why are you silent? Why you don't go and meet with your Labour counterparts and said enough is enough? If anyone is confused about his gender, about his identity, I don't mind. I don't care. I don't care. Keep away from my kids. Keep away from my family. Keep away from my civil liberties, my culture, my cultural values, my moral values. And I will, again, as I said in the last two videos, I will fight to the end for or to keep my kids safe. And you saw in the last few months there were a lot of developments where community members came together and enforced the walk movement to retreat and to cancel the so-called drag shows where sexual and pornography are shown to the kids as young as 5 years of age. And we need to combine our efforts to stop this madness. Again, if Tony Albanese, Dan Andrews and Jihad Deeb are confused about their gender, they want to live with their own delusion, with their own ideas, I don't mind. Don't bring this into my family and my children. And we all need to come together and to send a message to the Labour Party, enough is enough, and to work very hard to create a leadership in the conservative side of the politics, to send the Labour and the Greens to the history dustbins. This is where they belong to, and we need to get rid of these evil forces, especially from our areas. And it is shameful, again, it is shameful that Labour controls all level of government in the highly migrant, highly conservative, highly socially conservative, highly religious areas like Liverpool, Bankstown, Lakemba, Auburn, and other areas. It is highly shameful on us that we still vote. I did not vote, but our community, deeply religious people, deeply cultural people, new migrants and other groups that go like sheep and vote for the Labour Party without thinking about the evil agenda of this party that will reach now to destroying our families and our cultural, religious and family values. Hopefully I will see you tomorrow at the community gathering, and hopefully we will stand up to kick out this filth of the Labour and the Greens from our areas, and to send a message that enough is enough. You crossed all red lines, and we need now to combine our efforts and say enough is enough. See you tomorrow.